Hi again. I'm doing United States currency again. Um, these are really interesting notes. What this is called is, I'm going to be showing every single one of them. I'm going to be showing all 6 of these. What this is called is obsolete currency. Um, after Andrew Jackson was, during his presidency, he sought to bring down the Central Bank of the United States, which was issuing the money of the United States. The banks and local state banks that were chartered by the state, they filled in the role that was left by the second chartered bank of the United States. After that bank fell, individual companies and individual banks started issuing their own paper money to facilitate trade. And what they were doing was basically printing money that they didn't have. Even though they said they would pay real money, silver, gold coins, United States coins, because the United States never, in the 50 years that it was a country, before the Civil War, it didn't issue any paper money. The United States itself, it issued plenty of coins, copper, silver, gold coins, but it never issued paper money. That was left to the banks of the different states to do so. And you see, these were mostly banks that couldn't back up any of the assets they have. So when most of them went under, the paper that they printed and the money they printed basically became worthless automatically. So, which is why most people didn't accept these, because they didn't know if this bank was reliable. They didn't know if the bank that issued it would actually pay them in real money. Sometimes they wouldn't even accept them because the bank was already under and bankrupt, and it was actually foreclosed on. So every single banknote they issued would have been worthless, which is why most people didn't accept it. And since more people didn't accept it, that meant losing faith in that bank's infrastructure, and losing faith in its ability to make money. So they basically, it fueled the bank's it fueled the banks to go bankrupt. So that was just a brief history on it. These are just some of the thousands of banknotes that are out there, because hundreds upon hundreds of banks issued separate banknotes, so they all have their own different design. And they're really interesting. I mean, every single one of them is beautiful. You can't collect them all. It's almost impossible. You would have a lifetime you have to have a lifetime in order to collect all these and all the money in the world, because there is just so many out there. I only have 6 out of probably tens of thousands. So this is just one of them. I just buy the ones I find the most interesting. So this is the Bank of Tennessee. It's $1 issued in Nashville. This right here, I found this really interesting. These are Spanish reals. They are Spanish coins that were used in the majority of the time, so they put that on there because they obviously saw that a coin that they saw most often would be on a banknote, which is really interesting. So this is the Adrian Insurance Bank. Adrian Insurance Company. They issued $1. But unknown year, because most of the time they would put in 18 and then they would write in the date as soon as they issued it and put it in circulation. Here's, Native American, farmer and a horse, people working the plantation. Just really interesting. This one was issued in the state of Georgia, the Merchants and Planters Bank. It's pretty messed up. It's a $5 one, in Savannah, Georgia. I really didn't spend much money on this, which is why it's kind of messed up, but I can still obviously see the train. I can see these beautiful women with staves and an eagle above the crest. I can see a boat, and I can see all of this beautiful, beautiful handwriting. This one is a pretty well preserved banknote. This one's from the Canal and Banking Company of New Orleans. You have, Ben Franklin on it. They've put presidents and founding fathers. They put all kind of interesting stuff. There's like so much detail into these things that you'd have to have a magnifying glass to see every single thing. Here's another $10 banknote from the Augustus Insurance and Banking Company, $10. A lot of these have liberty or women on it. It was just a common thing during the 1840s. This right here is William Henry Harrison. He was the shortest-lived president ever, and this was issued like right after his death. He only was president for a month. He gave a speech at his inauguration, got the cold, and he basically died a month later. So I guess that was just to show courtesy, or, you know, printing his face on a banknote in memory of his achievements, which he didn't have that many, at least as president. And here's another one. This one's pretty messed up, but it's you can clearly see what it is. It's a $20 Bank of Tennessee. This one's another short-lived president, Zachary Taylor, and he was a general, and he became president. He's also didn't live his full term. I think he lived like a year and a half, and then I think he died of dysentery or cholera or something. But he wasn't a long-lived president. He died shortly after too. This one is issued at the Bank of Athens in Tennessee. It's a really nice banknote. And that's it for that.